This is lesson 1.3, subtraction with negative numbers in pre-algebra. And I alluded to what we're going to do in this section when we were doing 1.2. So 1.3 should be pretty easy for you. I had mentioned that whenever we're subtracting a number, like 5 minus 2, when we're doing something like that, you know automatically that it's 3. But what if it was negative 5 minus 2? And remember I had said, let's make everything a plus. So instead of subtracting 2, let's add a negative 2. Okay, so remember I did that in the last lesson. Whenever you see a minus number, you just change it to plus the negative of that number. Or we just make sure the minus stays with the 2, and we put a plus sign in front of it. And I put the parentheses here just because, and remember I think this was probably from 1.1, we have two symbols together, a plus and a minus. You don't want them to be plus minus, so we put a parenthesis in there just to separate the two guys. Alright, so if you change everything to a plus sign, you use the tips that I gave you in the last lesson. Two numbers added together that have the same sign, you add them together and put the sign on the answer. Two numbers are different that you're adding. You take the difference between the two numbers and put the sign of the largest number on your answer. And that's pretty much what this lesson is about. For example, they have as example number 1, negative 7 minus 2. Well, let's change it to negative 7 plus negative 2. Signs are the same, so we add them, we put the sign on the answer, and we get negative 9 for our answer. When we have something like 12 minus negative 6, okay, one of the things that you'll see here is we have two symbols, and the two symbols are the same. When the two symbols here are the same, they change to one symbol, which is a plus sign. So two negatives make a positive. If this were 12 plus a positive 6, it would be the same. The two symbols are the same, so you just add the numbers. The two symbols are the same, so you add the numbers. So this would be 18 then. Okay, so that's very important to realize. Now over here, to the left, when we had two numbers, we had two symbols side by side, and the symbols were different, we followed a different rule. The symbols were different, we just left them alone. And we took this number and added them together and put the sign on it. Okay, so when these are different, you follow a different rule, because the signs are different. When the signs are the same, you just add the two numbers up. It doesn't matter if these two numbers are negative or these two numbers are positive. You just add the two numbers together. Okay, and hopefully that'll make that easy. One of the things that they'll do is they'll kind of try to trick you. If you look down at example number 5, and it's all in the way that it's said. It says subtract 3 from negative 5. Most people will look at that and say, oh, the 3 is first and the 5 is second. But that's not what it says. It says subtract 3 from negative 5. So it's saying we're starting out with negative 5 and we're taking 3 away from that. Okay? And because we have a negative, we're going to rewrite it as a plus problem. And we're going to put the negative in there. If you can do it without doing it this way, fine. But it just, I mean, I know when I was taking these classes long, hundreds of years ago, I had to do it this way. I had to do this in order to really understand what was going on. So signs are the same. So I add the two numbers. And the signs that are the same are negative. So that ends up being on my answer is a negative. And that's it for section 1.3.